Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to In.The.News. Live news and commentary from around the world by your host, Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Holy Joe Rock and Roll here, November the 9th, the day after, and as you can see from this BBC News report, it is a Trump victory. One thing I wanted to show you, apparently nationwide, Trump garnered 47.7% of the vote versus Hillary Clinton, 47.5%. Breakdown, most men supported Trump, most women supported Hillary, which we knew all that. Some of the key states, Trump won Florida, and you can see that the map changed just ever so slightly in terms of the counties that went for Trump. This time, Republican versus last time. The other thing, of course, older people mostly going for Trump. Here's how he won Pennsylvania. These western counties went more Republican, although the central county went Democrat this time. But anyhow, Trump won Pennsylvania. That is a huge state. Now, you can see some of the electoral votes. Look, Trump got closer to 50% in almost all of these states, 50% or more than Hillary did. You can see, we've got 49.1, 48 point something, 52, 51, 50 plus, 51 plus. For Hillary, I see only one 49.7 where she won a 47, a 47. So you can see that nationwide there are more Republicans than Democrats nationwide. It's just that the concentration of them on the coasts and in Illinois is astounding. Most white voters voted for Trump, which is not unsurprising. Most white voters, especially male, whether they be college educated or not, are under siege in America. Almost 30% of the Hispanic vote went for Trump, 29% of the Asian vote, and 8% of the black vote, at least according to this, which is pretty significant. I think Romney got 4%. In summary, the Republicans maintain control over the Senate, 51 to 47. They maintain control over the House, 236 seats to 191. They maintain control over the governorships, 33 Republican to 14 Democrat. And you can see here, Trump has already won with 270. Even if Hillary were to win these undecided or at least at this point, uncalled races in New Hampshire, Minnesota, and where's the other one? I guess there's only two left now. He still wins. But notice this. How many people are living in New York? Look at this. Only 6.6 million people voted in New York? I mean, aren't there 8 million people in the New York City area already? This is insane that not more people who are eligible to vote actually voted. And you can see that it could have swung the election either way if, well, I mean, in this case, it wouldn't have swung it that much, but let's say if 1 million more people voted, it wouldn't have changed it. Okay, New York is a bad case, but you can see that only 6.5 million, just a little over 6.5 million people in New York State voted. I mean, that's crazy. Isn't there like 20 million people in the whole state? 30 million people in the whole state? And look at California. Again, 5, 6, 7, 8, like a little over 8 million people in the entire state of California voted. Now, of course, the majority, 61%, voted for Hillary, but that is just insane. Isn't there like 40 million people in California? I mean, this total should be over 10 million people voting. Registered adult age people has to be at least 10 million people, and they didn't vote. So if you think your vote doesn't count, especially in this election, your vote definitely did count. So that is just something that's, I think, very interesting. Here's Minnesota. Looks like it's going for Hillary. It's still 100% is counted now. I don't know if they included it in the 218 for Hillary. Michigan is a Trump victory with 98.96% of the precincts reporting. So this is, one for Hillary, one for Trump. New Hampshire looks like a very slight win for Hillary with 97.67% of the precincts reporting. But honestly, we're 1,500 votes off. This could switch. You never know. Now let's look at Arizona. Trump definitely winning there, 49.5 to 45% of the vote. And this is a huge win in Arizona, and should be called. I mean, with 97% of the vote, I don't think anyone, even if they got 100% of the 2.4% of the vote remaining, precincts remaining, would be able to beat that. And also Alaska, 53. But look at this map. I mean, it's pretty typical of what we've been seeing in some of the many campaigns. The Democrats lost control of the Great Lakes area. Look, Pennsylvania, they lost. Michigan, they lost. Wisconsin, they lost. Iowa, they lost. Minnesota, they kept. And Illinois, they kept. Okay, forget about those. And of course, the coastal, we expect that the left coast, Washington, Oregon, and California, and even Hawaii, typical liberal bastions. And of course, all the upper East Coast is typically Democrat. Virginia, because of the Northern Virginia vote, Northern Virginia is very Democrat. It's obviously military-industrial complex around D.C., defense contractors and all that. You could expect that to go Democrat. It's just, the numbers are just there. But again, we're talking about less than 200,000 votes difference. And that could have gone either way. I mean, look at that. There's 3.5, almost less than 4 million people voted in Virginia. Less than 4 million people voted. That's insane. How many people live in Virginia? That if more people voted, they could have turned the tide even more. New Mexico, that was, I guess, a change. New Mexico and Colorado. Colorado used to be a very conservative state, but it's flipped with this whole marijuana legalization stuff, gotten more liberal. And Nevada, which typically is a Republican stronghold, that also, I think it flipped. But anyhow, we can see that if your vote does count, and especially in this election where you had two polar opposite candidates, one representing the status quo, the establishment, the failed system, and one who represents an outsider, a new approach, a new vision to make changes, real change in America, to put America first. You had a chance to really make your voice heard. But anyhow, luckily, thankfully, millions of more people did come out to vote nationwide and did turn the tide for a Trump victory. You made it happen for the captain because, as I've said, every show, you're the captain. Here's the sort of the map more broadly in real geographical terms, not weighted by. This is weighted by electoral votes. You can see how big these certain states are: New York, Florida, Texas, California, and even Pennsylvania and Illinois. But just here, so-called flyover country, it's all Republican, it's all red. East Coast and left coast, and now some of these center places, of course, Illinois, and some of these center places flipping or maintaining their leftist bias for the Democrats. And again, House and Senate stays Republican. So listen, Trump has outlined a very progressive in the real sense agenda to make positive change, to put America first, to bring back the jobs, to basically penalize you have to say, penalize companies who fire their workers, move to low-cost countries, and then try to export their product to the U.S. So now it's going to be up to Congress to get on board the Trump train, and let's make this stuff happen, as Trump has outlined repeatedly, doing things to positively improve the life of Americans in America, to put Americans first and American companies first, American people first. Let's see what happens. If the GOP, keep an eye out for this, if the GOP, who still maintains control of the Senate and the House, a lot of these assholes refuse to endorse Trump, or half-heartedly did, or did and then didn't. Let's see what happens. But Trump definitely is the winner, and America is the winner.
Thank you for watching In.The.News, a feature of HJRR TV, and presented by the Reverend Dr. Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Please rate us, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to this channel for more In.The.News.